Did you know there's a huge detail hidden in plain sight in almost every single Marvel movie? And I'm not talking about Stan Lee cameos. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see the MCU in a completely different way. Alright, let's start with something you probably did notice, but maybe didn't think too much about. Remember in the first Avengers movie, when Tony Stark is wearing a Black Sabbath t-shirt? Cool, right? But it's more than just a nod to a great band. The song he's referencing is Iron Man. It's a meta joke, a little wink to the audience that tells you everything you need to know about Tony Seth's character. Yes, brilliant. He's a rock star, and he's fully embraced his superhero identity. It's the kind of detail Marvel loves to sprinkle in. But that's just the appetizer. Let's go deeper. Think back to Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Early in the film, Steve Rogers has a little notebook where he jots down things he needs to catch up on, like Star Wars and Nirvana. It seems like a simple gag about a man out of time. But here's what you might have missed. Depending on what country you watch the movie in, the list is different. In the UK, it includes the Beatles and the 1966 World Cup final. In France, it's the 1998 World Cup. Marvel customized the list to connect with local audiences around the globe. That is an insane level of detail and a brilliant way to make Steve's journey feel universal. Now, let's talk about something that ties the whole cosmic side of the MCU together. In the first Thor movie, when the destroyer armor attacks the town in New Mexico, what do we see in the background? A billboard for a travel agency with the slogan, Journey into Mystery. Casual fans might not get it, but comic book readers know that Journey into Mystery is the name of the comic series where Thor first appeared back in 1962. It's not just a random sign. It's a direct homage to the hero's origins. Marvel is constantly rewarding its longtime fans with these kinds of clever Easter eggs. Okay, this next one is one of my personal favorites, and it connects two movies you might not think are related. In Iron Man 2, there's a scene where Tony is talking to Nick Fury, and on a SHIELD monitor behind him, there's a world map with several blinking dots. One of those dots is right over Africa. At the time, we didn't know what it meant. Fast forward a few years to Black Panther, and we learn the exact location of Wakanda. If you go back and check that map in Iron Man 2, the dot is precisely where Wakanda is. They were planting the seeds for Black Panther's kingdom years before he ever appeared on screen. That's some serious long-term planning. Let's switch gears to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Everyone loves Groot, right? But did you know his language is more complex than it seems? We only hear him say, "I am Groot," but James Gunn, the director, actually has a script with the real English translations of what Groot is saying in every scene. The other actors, especially Ving Diesel, who voices Groot, know the real meaning behind each line. So when Rocket seems to understand him perfectly, it's because there's actual dialogue happening. The emotion in Ving Diesel's delivery isn't random. It's tied to a specific line. So next time you watch Guardians, pay attention to the inflection in Groot's voice. You'll realize he's having a full conversation. Here's another detail that completely changes a scene. In Avengers Age of Ultron, there's that party scene where all the heroes are trying to lift Thor's hammer Mjolnir. Everyone fails, of course. But when it's Captain America's turn, the hammer actually budges, just a tiny bit. Thor's face goes from confident to visibly concerned for a split second. At the time, we thought it was just a joke. Maybe Cap was almost worthy. But then came Avengers Endgame. We see Cap summon Mjolnir and wield it like a pro. That little nudge in Ultron wasn't a joke at all. It was foreshadowing. It was telling us that Steve Rogers was, and always had been, worthy. He just chose not to show it at that moment to spare Thor's feelings. It makes that moment in Endgame even more powerful and earned. Let's talk about Spider-Man. In Spider-Man Homecoming, Peter Parker's high school is called the Midtown School of Science and Technology. Throughout the school, you can see posters and photos of famous scientists. But if you look closely, you'll see photos of Howard Stark, Tony's father, and even Bruce Banner. In this universe, They aren't just superheroes. They are scientific icons. On the same level as Einstein and Marie Curie, it's a subtle world-building detail that shows how superheroes have fundamentally changed society. This next one is a visual detail that's easy to miss. Throughout the MCU, the color palette of the films often reflects the themes and characters. The Thor movies, especially Ragnarok, are bursting with vibrant Jack Kirby-inspired colors. But look at the Infinity Stones. Each stone set's color is often splashed across the screen in key moments of the movies they feature in. The blue of the Tesseract dominates the first Avenger and the Avengers. The red of the Ether gives Thor, the Dark World, its grim tone. The purple of the Power Stone is all over Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a subtle subconscious visual cue that ties the entire Infinity Saga together through color theory. Remember the first Iron Man? He mentions a cover story about a bodyguard and a scuba diving trip. Tony, being Tony, ignores him and declares, "I am Iron Man to the world." Now, jump to Captain America, the Winter Soldier. When Natasha is being interrogated by Alexander Pierce, he mentions an incident in Odessa where she was supposed to be protecting a nuclear engineer. She replies that she was busy rescuing a scuba diver from a yacht. It's a direct callback to the alibi Coulson tried to use for Tony. It implies that S.H.I.E.L.D. actually used that cover story for one of their own agents, Black Widow. It's a small line of dialogue, but it connects the stories and shows how interconnected this world truly is. And for the final detail, the one I promise will blow your mind. It has to do with Ant-Man in the quantum realm. In the first Ant-Man movie, when Scott Lang goes subatomic, he sees all sorts of strange things. For a fleeting moment, a shadowy figure can be seen. It's so fast, you'd almost certainly miss it. Who is it? If you look closely at the silhouette, it has a very distinct shape, a shape that matches the helmet of Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp, who was lost to the quantum realm years before. If you look even closer, some fans have noticed another, even more indistinct silhouette in the background. It's large, with 3 circular points of light on its head. This mysterious figure bears a striking resemblance to the MCU's next big villain, Kang the Conqueror, specifically his home, Chronopolis, which exists outside of time in the quantum realm. Marvel was teasing the next decade of storytelling right there. They're building a universe with threads that span decades. So there you have it. From secret dialogue and custom props to mind-blowing foreshadowing hidden in plain sight. What are some of your favorite details that I missed? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite movies. See you in the next one.